Everybody, my name is Kat Bowser. I'm your resident fantasy therapist, and welcome back to my channel. Those of you here for the first time, welcome. My name is Kat Bowser. I'm a licensed therapist. I'm also a writer working on my first two novels, one the start of a series, one a standalone. And on my channel, I like to talk about what I consider to be the heart of all writing. That's the characters. And the heart of the characters is their psychology. So that's the angle I like to take with pretty much everything I talk about on my channel. So first off, I apologize. I've been out of link for a while. I actually got sick last week. I'm finally feeling more or less like a human being now. So I'm going to be attempting to catch up on my videos. So this week I wanted to talk about tense, specifically present, future, or past tense. So tense, I think, is one of those topics in writing that people seem to have either a love or hate relationship with it, meaning that there's usually one tense you really like and there's usually one tense you really don't like. I definitely fall into that camp, and pretty much everybody I have talked to seems to fall into that camp. So I just thought we might want to talk about what are the pros and cons of it. Obviously this is going to be my thoughts on it, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts as well. So make sure you drop those below. So first and foremost, what is tense? Tense is essentially the time frame that your story takes place in, whether it's telling the story as the events have already happened, whether the events are happening right now, or if they haven't happened yet. So I'm going to start with future tense, mainly because I've only seen it once or twice. From my understanding, I don't think I've ever seen a book in English written in future tense, but I have heard of books in other languages that are written in future tense. English is kind of weird with future tense. I mean, really what we have are modifiers that turn a verb to future tense. So I will go to the store instead of I go to the store. So it sounds kind of weird in future tense in English, but those of you that speak other languages, it doesn't sound so weird. So future tense, to me, I think that could be interesting, but I don't know. I think future tense, for me, as a reader, it would seem almost like, well, how do I know that any of this is actually going to happen? That's kind of the impression I would get from it. But like I said, I've never read a book in English written in future tense. If you guys know of them, drop them below, because I want to see how that pans out. Like I said, I know there's books in other languages that have been written in future tense. The one I hear thrown around the most is Aura, which I have not read, but I'd like to find a translation of it if I can and see what it's like. But I think future tense is one of those experiments, I guess, where it could be really neat, it could be really engaging, but it could also turn out to be really odd and just kind of take you out of the story, in my mind. So I would want to try it. I don't think I could write it though. Like, I really don't. Like I said, future tense sounds weird in English, and it kind of has this almost choppy kind of feel to it. I would have to really play around with it to see if I could get it to sound like I want it to sound. But I don't know. That might be a fun writing experiment to try. Next one, present tense. So this is a story that is written as if the events are taking place right now. So, I open my eyes, I open the door, that kind of thing. She walks towards her boyfriend or whatever. Present tense this is the one I don't like. And I really can't pinpoint why. I really can't. I've read a couple of books that are in present tense, and so far the only one I've read in present tense is actually a fan fiction. I think her name's Casey. I'll have to double check. She writes fan fiction right now for the Dragon Ball fandom in present tense, and it's really good. Like, I find it very engaging, which is weird because usually the issue I have with present tense is it feels disconnected to me. It feels disjointed. And I really think it's because, kind of like what I was talking about with future tense, I think present tense just sounds weird in English to my ears, and I'm not sure why that is. I've heard somebody describe it as it kind of sounds like an instruction manual. And while I wouldn't go that far, I can kind of see what they're talking about. It doesn't feel as natural to me. It just comes off as I don't know. The best word I can think of it is choppy. It sounds choppy to me. Having said that, though, present tense, when done correctly by someone who's good at it, and for someone who likes to read it, can be very engaging, because I think it kind of takes you along the ride with the character as it's happening. And I think there's a sense of a lack of safety when you're writing in present tense. Some people say when they read something in past tense, they get the sense that the characters are safe. I don't personally get that feeling, but in present tense, they don't get that feeling because it feels like the events are unfolding as they experience them. So it feels more immersive to them. And I can see that. I can definitely see how you would get that impression from present tense. So I personally don't like it, generally, but that doesn't mean it's not a viable tense. It just means it's not for me. Having said that, though, I am always open to trying books again in present tense if it's a really good story. So if you guys know of any books written in present tense that you think are very well done and are worth trying, let me know. I'll check them out. Like I said, I'm not against present tense. It's just not my favorite. And I think most of the people that I've talked to that don't like present tense, that's kind of their take too. It's not that we hate present tense. It's just not for us for whatever reason. Then we have past tense. This is where the story is written as if the events have already taken place. So, past tense verbs. She walked, I ran, that kind of stuff. This is my favorite. I like to write in past tense because to me it feels more natural. I feel like I can do more with the prose in past tense. So it flows easier for me. I have heard like I mentioned previously, the argument that in past tense the characters are safe. I don't think that's true. For one, especially if you're doing third person and you don't necessarily know if you're doing an unreliable narrator, you don't know if you're doing close third person or an omnipotent third person. The narrator could be someone completely separate from the story. So you don't know if the characters necessarily make it out of this alive. I think even if it's told in first person, you don't necessarily know, because what's to stop a character from telling their story and then ending it with, and then I died? Fiction lets you do that. So I personally prefer past tense. While I have switched slightly on my first person and third person views, I do both now. I really don't think I'm going to switch on past tense, just because, like I said, present tense I don't feel like I can write it very well. So can't talk today. So past tense is my personal favorite because I just feel like I can do more with the prose. There's more room for me to kind of play around, because I feel like with past tense, I don't feel as limited by present tense verbs. That's how I look at it. So I'd love to know what you guys think. What is your favorite tense to use and why? Is there a tense you don't like? Are there certain books that are written in certain tenses that you really love, even though it's not your usual fave? Let me know. I'm curious. So as always, make sure you guys leave comments or suggestions below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. If you don't want to miss when I upload, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss when a new video goes up. I upload twice a week, once at the beginning of the week, once at the end of the week, unless I get sick, like last week. And I hope you guys are staying safe, taking care of yourself, and until next time, have a good one.